to Mayday hour number 2. Twitch, you're still here. What's up? What's up, Trevor May Baseball Channel? We are back over here from the Val Territory Channel. Things are going a little haywire over here on my side of things, but you know what? No complaints. We're doing our best here. It has been a crazy week. Crazy week for a guy who does most of his production on his own. I had to fix a lot of things being fixed this week. So I appreciate you guys being here. This is the hour that we kind of slow down a little bit. Slow down. Oh, I forgot to do my thing on my break. Danny, thank you for the resub. Appreciate you so much. Welcome back. I'm actually just going to do this. I'm just going to click on it. Boop. Thank you, Danny, for the resubscription to the channel. Going to add some water to my mug. We're about to get into the nastiest pitches, but not yet. The nastiest pitches are next. First, though, we have a question from Agathor. Yes, that Agathor, the same Agathor from Discord that we always get. What's your favorite obscure baseball rule? Obscure. I don't know what you mean by obscure. There's some weird ones. Like I still don't understand baseline rules, like at all. This is interesting. I would love to know what your guys's are, because I'm trying to think of super obscure rules. Yeah, I don't know. I'm like infield fly rule, maybe. Tell the production crew great work. All right, I will. Great work, Trevor. Thanks, guys. Runner advances, the ball gets stuck in the umpire's mask. Ooh, that's good. I like the one. I like the ball getting stuck under the outfield fence. Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah, infield fly, but I don't feel like that's obscure, even though I'm not quite sure what's in infield flies at this point either. But that's a good question. That's a good question. Catcher balk. Ooh, the catcher balk. Yeah. That's how you say it, right? Balk. Sensei, 76 month. Thank you. Welcome back, Sensei. Appreciate you so much. That is very, very kind. 76 months is a very long time. Ooh, okay. Branch got a good one for us. Branch is so good, we're going to put it up on the screen. This is a good one. Pitchers are allowed to switch their throwing arm in the middle of an at-bat, but only they have injured the other one. If one does, they do not get an opportunity to warm up with the other arm. Not getting to warm up is diabolical. I'll be honest. That is just rude. That is just rude. This one's kind of obscure. The switch pitcher thing, where the pitcher has to choose. The pitcher has to choose which arm they're going to throw with, and so that a switch hitter can then choose. So the pitcher has to choose first. Which, of course, they're making the hitter get the advantage, not the pitcher, because of course. But what about fan interference? I mean, that's a crapshoot too. But that's not actually that obscure to me anymore, because there's really only one way to do it. All right. Anyways, any hoozle, I want to get into the nastiest pitches. Let's go do it.
Nastiest Pitches of the week.
Oh. What is that frame rate? Okay, we're not going to. Okay, so I was trying to use a new media player. It's garbage. So we're going to go to the old fashioned. Give me 1 second. Oh my God, man. Jesus. Why? I don't understand why I can't just pause. Why can't I just pause? Thank you. All right. Let me turn this stupid thing off. All right, honorable mentions. Nastiest pitches. Also, what is... Oh, my God. 1 sec. Sorry about that. What a nightmare. Okay. Hope you're ready for this, boys and girls. Because I am. Here's the nasty pitch of the week. Honorable mentions. First up. Brother, what is happening right now? What is going on? I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening. Oh, thank God. Honorable mentions. Oh, okay. Nastiest pitches. Jesus Christ. Okay. We're going now. Oh, my God. Do I really have to click this to get it to work? Okay. We're going to click it. Honorable mentions. Honorable mentions. Max Scherzer throwing a changeup. Look at this. Boop. Woo! Max Scherzer with the changeup to get, I think that's Zach McKinstry. Then we got Connor Smith over here blowing Ohtani's freaking doors off. Then we got a changeup of Christopher Sanchez in beautiful 3 frames per second. Isn't that something to behold? Man. Do you have it on screen? Nah, I don't know what's happening, J-Rat. We're not going to try to fix it. We're not going to try to fix it. I'm so sick of this. Like, I'm so tired of something being fine, and the moment I turn it on when we need it, it looks terrible, and I have no idea what's going on. So I'm just going to keep going the same way that I've been going. Christopher Sanchez, those are honorable mentions. But let's get into number 10 on our list, Nastiest Pitch of the Week. Kyle Hendricks giving the old front door. JP Crawford, sit in the truck, sir. Watch this video in 530p.
9.
At number 9, we got Jackson Joe blowing doors. Okay.
8.
What up, T-Buck? Are you on dial-up? It's not my internet. It's not my internet. I don't know what it is. I don't know what's happening. Oh, now this works. Okay. Hey, how's everybody doing, guys? I had a feeling. I just had a feeling. I actually want to keep seeing if this works. I'm going to try to scroll to a video that actually is smooth.
8.
Number 8. This one's smooth. Here we go. Yu Darvish. There we go. Hammer curveball. Number 8, Yu Darvish, still doing it at 38 years old. Coming in at number 6. I don't know where 7 is. Max Fried, another curveball. Now the ace of the Yankees doing his thing.
5.
At number 5. My man, Dusty May, banger. Sit in the truck, sir. It's a nice little beard, nice little banker.
4.
Number 4 on our list today. Nastiest pitches. Tyler Glasnow with the sword. Truck's in it.
7.
My guy, Tyler Glasnow. Number 7's randomly in here in the wrong order. Cool. Steven Wilson, front door, curveball. Andy Pajes sit in the truck. And he knows. He's like, dang it. Should have swung at that. There it was.
3.
How about number 3? Kick change. Hold on. I want to see that one again.
3.
Show me that again, Clay. Clay Holmes, change piece. Clay, let me see that one more time. Yikes. Very nice. Very nice. Oh, and it's cute. It's still playing. Of course it is. Of course it is. All right. At number 2, Blake Trinan. Of course.
3.
Oh, my God, man. Blake Trinan coming in at number
2.
2.
One.
That made me dizzy. Huh. Oh. Got a little ahead of there. Huh. But anyway, it's not number 1. You know what number 1 is? Roki Sasaki. Split piece to Austin Wynn. Huh. That's your number 1 nastiest pitch of the week. Splitter. Austin Wynn. You want to see it one more time? I want to see it one more time.
10.
Never mind. Never mind. Nothing works. All right, cool. Woo-woo. Those are your nastiest pitches of the week. What a shit show. What a shit show. I'm glad we're doing this in hour 2. Trevor, have you ever had a moment? Oh, I'm going to hit this. Trevor, have you ever had a moment where Bobby Miller, when he got hit in the head? No, I haven't. I've been hit in the body a lot, but never the head. Thank God. Thank God. Thank goodness gracious. What do I think about Skeens adding a cutter? You should check out last week's show. All right. So that did not go well. I can honestly say that. Unfortunate. You can go back and watch though. It's great. I love that he's adding cutter. I'm a big fan. Just to give you a little taste. I'm really excited about it. I am really, really, really excited about it. Thank you for the question, Agathor. Appreciate it, guys. We're going to be getting more questions out there and stuff. But next, I want to get into oh my God, go back, man. Jesus Christ. Nothing worked. Okay. Woo. Not a question, but a D3 has lost 87 games in a row. They haven't won. No, I thought they won recently. I thought they broke the record. I thought they broke that streak. I thought that happened. All right, we're talking Paul George. This is relevant. I'm going to throw this out to DK, our producer for the show today. Today's been a little bit of a struggle, but basically, after the Philadelphia Sixers dropped their 9th straight game late in February, a 110-105 loss to New York Knicks in Madison Square Garden, Paul George expounded on his recent decision to stop podcasting, saying it was about putting his full focus into trying to get this team together. So basically, Paul George put his podcast on pause because their team was so bad. Now, I need to tell you guys something. And I know there's Philly fans, there's Philly sports fans in this chat. He did it because he's in Philly. And you are not allowed to have a podcast if you play for a Philly team unless you are amazing every moment of every day. After that game, George, who put his last episode of Podcast P with Paul George early that morning, said 76ers has showed no sign of a team that will compete. We just don't have the habits of a champion or a playoff contending team would have. So David wrote me a couple questions. He wants me to talk about this situation because I am a person who did media the whole time while they played, and I had to deal with, if I was worried about backlash, whatever. And it's something you think about constantly, right? Maybe if you focused on your sport and not you hear that constantly, right? And of course, it's completely mutually exclusive most of the time. What you do at home, as long as you're not sitting at the field like writing out your podcast script when you should be out shooting around or should be out practicing or should be in the weight room, as long as you're not doing that, then it doesn't matter, right? But there are people who do it. Like there are people who like would bring their video games to the field and like when they're bored and play. That's a distraction. Like I barely even looked at my phone when I was at the field because not because I was like I'm putting this away and I'm going to be locked in. It was just I didn't have the desire to look at. I had some other things to do and I wanted to do those things, right? So let me just say that. But I know that he was like I'm just getting more. People are mentioning this podcast more and it doesn't matter. And I know it doesn't matter, but it's just not worth the effort anymore. I'm not getting any value from it if everyone's just going to yell at me about it all the time. That said, an athlete having a podcast or some other hobby that's publicly facing has nothing to do with them as an athlete. Look at goddamn Nikola Jokic. Look at him. The guy only wants to ride his chariot and teach horses how to run fast. That's all he wants to do. And he's probably not going to win it because he's won so many, but like he could legitimately win a 4th MVP. And all he wants to do is sleep and hang out with his horses. So it is possible. You don't have to Mamba mentality everything all the time. And I hate this. I do. I genuinely hate it. But I do respect his choice to stop. If you are annoyed by it, you are. But if you're a person who thinks that athletes shouldn't be able to do anything other than their sport all the time, you're an idiot. Full stop. You're wrong. Wrong. Incorrect. Because most of the time, only focusing on your sport all the time, every day, makes you worse at it. You have to take breaks. You have to have something else that gives you energy. You have to be able to it's like playing Minecraft, guys. Sometimes you want to build, but also sometimes you want to redstone. You know what I mean? Did that analogy land? I hope so. And so that's the benefits of having outlets, the benefits of having other things to do that really make you happy and are exciting and give you an outlet to talk about things in a more candid way, like put out what's going through your mind during a game or talk to other players and like hang out and like bring you into the circle and stuff. That stuff is valuable and it's awesome. And I think that we should definitely, you don't have to be like, hey man, keep going with the pod, but you don't have to flame people out for doing other things just because the team's not playing really well and it's hard to watch and you feel bad. And just because your favorite sports team isn't doing everything that you want them to do doesn't mean that you can then try to exert more power or more control over that person's life. That's all I'm saying. So stop it. Lando Norris, yeah. I played Fortnite with Lando once. I was better that day. So yeah, I mean, I understand. I understand bad luck or whatever. But if you say things like bad luck, that's a you problem. That's always anytime if you feel the need to say something like bad luck, that's a you problem. You have an expectation of how that person should be and what they should be doing. But it's you that has the problem, not them. So if you ever feel the need to be like, well, it's a bad look. Look inside. Look inside. But that's a nice little message we had there. The same people complaining about the podcast should be complaining about the Orioles players building Legos during the playoffs. Facts. Big facts. All right, let's get into some interesting stuff. Guys, as always, it's the point of our show. We're about halfway through the final hour, a little bit before. We might actually be getting out of here just slightly early today because there are some things that have broken on my stream, and it's bothering me so much that I just kind of want to get through it. So we're going to move on to our next segment. That is, isn't that interesting? Wow. It worked and then it just stopped again. Okay. This is back to, isn't that interesting? We have ex-outfielders becoming pitchers. Tyler Naquin, my ex-teammate with the Mets in 2022, signs with the Guardians as a pitcher. The guy has an absolute hose missile cannon piece of an arm. He actually throws missiles. So this makes a lot of sense. Some other guys that I've played with who actually done this too. Anthony Goes. He made a run as a starting pitcher. Another guy, or as a pitcher, another guy who threw absolute missiles. Jordan Schaefer threw absolute missiles. Came back as a reliever. Now, they spent a little bit of time in the big leagues, but not enough to hang around. So we'll see if this works out for Naquin. But he hasn't played in the major leagues since 2023. He's returning to Cleveland Guardians, but he'd be a familiar face in a new place. Who wrote that? That's pretty good. And we just want to talk a little bit about how does this ever work? And no, it doesn't. I've not really, because here's what it comes down to. Position players have no idea how much throwing is required to pitch. And their arm just simply, like, the ramp up is like years long. So they almost always get hurt, and it's almost always Tommy John. And then, like, that brief window they had to kind of establish themselves. If you get hurt in the first year of switching, you kind of just, like, it's really, really hard to get another shot. Unless you throw absolute fire, right? So some other guys that tried it, like Rick Ankiel, right? He actually had the yips as a pitcher and then moved to play the outfield, which was, that never happens. That's crazy. Switching from pitching to position playing in big leagues is unheard of. But you guys may remember Rick Ankiel's game 2 of the 2000 NLCS, where he threw 5 wild pitches to start the game in the first inning, which is crazy. And then we had Adam Lowen, who played for the Blue Jays. He began as a pitcher and then moved into the field also, and played a little bit in the big leagues. And then everyone I just mentioned who moved to be a pitcher. Actually, I played with a guy named Tim Kennelly, an Australian gentleman, third baseman. He came in and pitched for us at the Reading Phillies once in a pinch. He was throwing 95, 96. And they're like, you know what? And he struggled to hit a little bit. So you know what? You're going to be a pitcher. They started getting him in shape. 2 weeks later, he had to go get Tommy John. So it is usually doesn't work out as much when you've been a position player for a while in the big leagues. So if you were a high school pitcher, right, and then you're 32 years old and you haven't pitched in 14 years, your body probably has gotten to a point where you can't pitch anymore. Probably. You get templated into what you do. So I'm rooting for Tyler. I want to see it. I want to see it work out, but it'll be interesting to see if it does or not. So I'll be following that pretty closely. How about a crazy fact? Because we got a pretty crazy fact. Shout out to Henry in the back room to figure out this crazy fact of the week. And it's football related. Who's ready? Okay, I am. The Kansas City Royals have drafted more Hall of Fame NFL quarterbacks in 1 year than the Kansas City Chiefs have ever. I repeat, the Kansas City Royals have drafted more Hall of Fame NFL quarterbacks in 1 year than the Kansas City Chiefs have in their history. The Royals drafted both Dan Marino and John Elway in 1979, and while they both chose football, it would have been pretty cool to see them both honestly pitch. But imagine what could have been. Isn't that amazing? I'm amazed. All right, guys. All right, boys and girls. Let's do this dang thing. Who wants to get into some questions? Because I definitely do. Because it's been a rough week for me, and I just want to hang out with you guys for the last 30 minutes of the show. Branch Terminal says, do you ever think we'll see another two-sport athlete again? I mean, we got guys who could do it. Like Kyler Murray could have done it. I just don't think anyone wants to. I just don't think that. I don't think there is the incentive to do so isn't very big anymore. This for you, Cuddy Kid. How do I like the ABS system and the robo umps? I don't want robo umps straight up. I do want ABS. I like the challenge system. I think it allows us to get enough of the calls right. I don't think every call needs to be right every single time because I don't think baseball is that big of a deal. I said it. Hey, I'll say it again. Whoever wins the World Series, it's just there are bigger things, right? The idea that there are mistakes and there is like people defeating other people. There is that the best possible scenario does not happen every single time. It's very much like life, and I want it to stay that way. But I do like the challenge system because it's strategic, and your team can get really good at it. It's a way to separate yourself as a player, and it also incentivizes learning the strike zone, both for pitchers and hitters, more. Like you have to focus on it because it's not a crapshoot anymore. Like umpires, sometimes you're like, I don't know if that's a strike, but it might be a strike today. Like now that's gone. That could be gone a little bit with the ABS system. So I like the ABS. Now, the one thing that I will not put, and Eno Saris brought this up and has talked about a lot, I'm going to bring it up again. One thing that concerns me is when you have a digital strike zone that can be calibrated behind the scenes and then nothing said about it, I could see subtle tweaks being done in the strike zone as the season progresses in order to bolster offense, and then nothing being said about it. I could see a juice ball situation happening again, right? I'm not saying like everything's nefarious and everything's like everyone's being sneaky all the time, but I will say it does make it easy for that to happen. Like it would be very easy to do. Can't even imagine the effery in the bullpen. I'm going to put it up on. You would be correct. It is crazy. It is crazy. Hey, happy birthday, Aaron Pod. Happy birthday. It is Aaron Pod's birthday today. Congratulations. Does Arenado end up in Houston before opening day? Does Arenado end up in Houston before opening day? I don't believe so. They have a third baseman. Now, a team that doesn't is the New York Yankees, but that would be a classic Yankees move to go get a guy who's older and expensive. I don't know about Houston. I don't know where else Isaac Paredes can play. And now they have Altuve playing a left, so like, where's Alvarez playing? Right, he's DHing. So like, you're gonna put Isaac Paredes at second? Why would you do that? See what I mean? Like, it doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. So I don't think so. I don't think he's going anywhere. I think that the fact that Helsley's still in St. Louis is pretty incredible. Astros would find a way to hack the ABA. Okay, Pete, come on, relax. Do you think there are more revelations to come with the whole sign stealing thing in the late 2010s, or does the whole sport just want to move on? Oh, I think we're past it. I don't think the rules now, man, like they have, there are, I don't know if you guys know this, but there are people behind the scenes to avoid the sign stealing that walk around and they have like an MLB polo on, and they're just like, they're snitches, is what they are. They're MLB snitches. We got MLB snitches walking around trying to catch people doing things they're not supposed to do. You can't look at your phone. They're like, hey, put your phone away. They like even if you're up in the clubhouse and it's like you're not even watching the game. They're all on delays. All the games are delayed. You can't have a feed out in the bullpen. You can't have a feed anywhere close to the dugout. You can't go look at video during the game at all. The video room is off limits. And there's like guards. I don't know if that's public. I don't know if people have talked about that much, but there's like guards. So yeah, you're being, it's annoying. Honestly, it's like, dude, who cares? So, but it's just the way there are checks and balances now. It's probably gotten a little bit more lax in the last couple of years, but it's very hard to cheat. Very, very, very hard to cheat. So Paredes has been middle infield at spring training. Altuve could become majority left field, keeping Alvarez DH full time. Oof. I don't know if Altuve is super pumped about being an outfielder, guys. Have you seen his interviews recently? But he was like, "Yeah, it's tough. I can't really see anything. So yeah, we have that going. Manfred has to go. He never will. He is here till the end before he bequeaths the commissioner scepter to Morgan's sword, his heir apparent. That's my prediction. We should have a prediction going up. Who's going to be the next commissioner when Rob retires? My guess is, I didn't mean to do that. My guess is Morgan Sorgan. All right, guys, hit me more questions. We'll get them up on the screen. We'll talk about them. But I am going to kick this thing down at about 10. I think there are a couple things that I was going to do that I can't now. But it's okay. We did the thing we needed to do. Wait. Hold on. This is real? You ever think about how different things would have been with Bush if he didn't win the presidential election and just became the the commissioner? Yeah, that would have been awesome. I don't know. He seems to like baseball. That's for sure. Thoughts on Sagano actually being an asset due to age? What do you mean by that? Everyone's an asset, right? Manfred cooked with the pitch clock. I have come around on the pitch clock a lot. I think it is a net positive for the league. However, I do not like the way that concerns are brushed off by the commissioner's office. And I've been in these calls and I've sat there and watched representatives sit there and talk to us. And when we ask questions, they say things like, well, it's not really that big of a deal. Like, we'll be like, hey, man, it makes this really hard and this really hard. And they'll be like, it doesn't sound that hard to me. Like, it's like that. It's that vibe. And I just want to slap them. Does high-level college baseball compare to any level of the MILB? I have been the common comp. I'll throw this up. The common comp for that dynamic has been Double A is Division I. No, High A maybe is Division I. High A teams could probably take on any college team in the nation. Like the good ones, obviously. There's some bad ones that would just get destroyed. But I'd say that's a closer comp. I would have said low A few years ago, but they've gotten rid of so many baseball or like levels that and no one even goes to low anymore. So the way that it all works, everyone goes to high at some point, though. Your face was made for an 80s mustache. Well, I'll work on it. I will work on it. Do you use your gold card often? What's the reaction when you show up with it? Ooh. I used it 3 times last year. I'll be using it a lot this year. It's pretty cool. You don't get a crazy reaction. You either get, so there's 2 types of people that will call. You either get the managers who've they know what a gold card is. They know what to do. There's like a portal system they use to that they put you in that you went. There's like the gold card system. So they can check you in the database that it's you and whatever. So you have to give your ID, and those people are used to it. And it's not that weird. But then there's other people who are like, I don't know what this is. They think it's pretty cool, but no one's like, whoa, this is sick. Now there's been fans that have asked me to see it, which was cool. They tend to like it, but yeah, usually they've been appraised the situation. They either have no idea what it is or they know how to process it. Do players even see when famous people throw opening pitches? They do sometimes. Depends on where it is. Do they care? Some care. I mean, the Dodgers have crazy famous people all the time, right? But then there's other places that like I caught Zach Levine's pitch with the Twins, which is cool. But for the most part, it's pretty all right. Can you just show up in disguise to any pickup ball game and just wreck everyone? I mean, I'm in such bad shape that no. I wish baseball was like that. I wish it was like basketball, that you could just pick up the ball and go. Ooh, good question. We're going to retouch on this. We talked about this in the news on the top of the show, but we're going to talk about it again. What are your thoughts on Manfred pushing Stu to sell the Rays? The pending group looking to buy is all in on the already approved stadium. Current ownership is getting cold feet. Why is the current ownership getting cold feet on the stadium? What's the issue? Is it too much money? Do they have to pay too much money for it? You had a deal. Why do you not want to do it now? I don't understand. Oh, ugh. How do you continue to tinker and work on things while staying ready to pitch every day out of the bullpen? Catch. Catch is the only thing you have. You have to do it and catch. If you want to throw a new pitch, catch. If you're going to throw a bullpen, it's going to be 10 pitches. So you better figure it out in 10 pitches because you got to pitch that night. It's really hard. It's really hard to change in any meaningful way as a reliever. It really is. 65-month sub again. Thank you so much. America's pastime. 65 freaking months, dude. That was my number. Incredible. Incredible. Is there a predictable difference with pitches breaking in Colorado, or is that blown out of proportion? It is 100% real, and I can actually show it to you if you guys would like. I have the ability. No, I don't. I don't have the ability. God damn it. Okay. I used to have a report that had all of my movement from the pitch, the time we pitched in Colorado. And here's how it affects the most pitches. So the pitch that actually isn't affected much is the gyro slider or the bullet spin slider. Sweepers are terrible because there's no air to get under the ball. So you just get this loopy side curveball. It's awful. And four-seam fastballs, again, four-seam fastballs, it needs to cut air and stay. You need to get air pressure under the ball to keep the ball up away from gravity, and there is none. So it just kind of goes down. So like my vert was like 17 inches of vert, and then in Colorado it was 11. So that's a big, big difference. The slider was almost exactly the same. The sweeper depth was like 10 inches more depth, but it was like the horizontal went from 17 to 10. So just it kills the movement you're trying to get. If you are basically dependent on air gathering on one side of the ball in order to get it to move, once you understand that, throwing those pitches in Colorado is impossible. It sucks. And then also sinkers, right? Sinkers are trying to get air on top of the ball or on the side of the ball. There's no air. So like you're just not going to, it's just going to stay kind of generally in the plane it's in. So four seams aren't really good and sinkers aren't very good either. Like there's nothing, everything's just slightly worse except for sliders. You can have a good slider there. Splitters don't do anything at altitude either. They don't dance as much. They're not as sharp, but they do get depth. But it's more of like a brrr instead of a. I hope the sound effects help there. If MLB players actually threw their hardest, sacrificing all accuracy, they'd be in the hundreds. No, I mean there'd be maybe a couple more guys in the hundreds, but we're getting pretty close to that, Heidi. Like we're getting pretty close to that. Where did the sweeper come from? Ooh, I like this one. Ooh, I love when this question gets. Mike. Thank you so much for asking this question. It's my favorite question to ask. So sweepers are actually a different pitch than a slider. It is a sideways curveball, one that goes left to right this way, or vice versa. And sliders have always historically called them bullet spin. You get a little dot on the back of the ball you can see, and you want two plane. You want it to go down and sideways. Sweepers, you want it to go only sideways and not down. So you want it to like stay in the air and just go like a frisbee. And what they found was if you hold it a certain way, you could get something called seam shifted wake, which would create a little bowl with the seams on the bottom of the ball, which kept a little like think about Aladdin on his magic carpet, right? The ball gets caught a little bit and stays up in the air. Look at Jason Adams' sweeper. And then they were slower, so it's just a new pitch. But yeah, no, like the idea of the sweep is getting as much horizontal movement as you can. That's the difference with sliders. Sliders, you're not really trying to get a ton of horizontal movement. You're trying to get velocity and both a little bit of movement with a lot of velocity. Sweepers, you don't mind being slower and you want to get a lot of movement left to right. Like curveballs you want them to go down. It's like the same thing as a curveball in your brain, except you want to go side to side, which in Colorado you can't do because there's no air. So I hope that helps. I hope that explains it. Did I see DeGrom's comments about throwing 97 instead of 100? I did not. How did Ubaldo dominate in Colorado then? He threw 100. There's a certain thing that just velo erases, right? Like Paul Skeen's four-seam fastball. It's a dead zone fastball movement-wise. He just throws 100. Ubaldo was throwing 100 when there was like one other guy in the league throwing 100. He was just better. And he threw a gyro slider. And his slider wasn't affected. So he had a good slider and he just threw 100. Are you excited for Emily's show? I am. I look back to the 2 best years of my career and I didn't throw 100. I'd rather stick to 98 everyone rather than 100 leaks back a little bit. I think it's pitching smarter. That's so funny. Jake, I know I'm 37. I don't want to throw 100 anymore. Goofball. What a goof. Are questionable calls to the bullpen, hold on. Are questionable calls to the bullpen ever due to a player not feeling well that way or something? You guys aren't robots. Yeah. A questionable call to the bullpen is like someone who has been being used a lot recently and everyone knows they're tired and you put them in anyways. That would be a questionable call to the bullpen. Like, yeah, why did we put in May? Dude, I'm dying out here. Did John Fisher sign your checks or did he have others sign for him? I don't know. It was direct deposit. I have no clue. Bad headache must have altered the manager's decision at some point. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Which starting pitcher would dominate the most out of the bullpen? Paul Skeens. Did you see the cursed New Era hats? No, I haven't. I have not seen it. All right, guys. Speaking of headaches, I'm hurting a little bit. I got a pretty tough headache. And I'm probably just going to get out of here because it's been a tough one. I just want to get you caught up with everything I got going on my end. And I'm going to take this opportunity to do this for the next couple of minutes, and then I'm going to take off. One, if you want to catch all of the things that I do every week, I have you can go to IamTrevorMay.com, type in your email, and you'll get the Mayday Report newsletter, which gives you a lot of ways to, interact with this show. I'm starting to ask like survey questions, like ask you questions there. So you can ask me questions in the newsletter. Also, it has all the new shows, everything that I put out, all the new YouTube videos, all the new podcasts, everything that I'm on will be updated there every week. There's a new episode or a new version that comes out on Fridays. It's just it's not like a huge thing. It's just like, you're like, oh, I didn't check that one out or whatever. If that's something you're interested in or you struggle to keep up with all the things I'm doing because I tend to choose too many things, that's a great place to do it. That's IamTrevorMay.com. Sign up there. Appreciate it. Also, I have a merch store called Mayday.shop. You can check that out if you want. I got some new stuff coming on there, but stay tuned for that. I am actually going down to spring training tomorrow. So I'll be down. If you guys are in Arizona, you see me lumbering around, don't forget to say hello. I do enjoy chatting with people. I think I'm going to the A's game. I think I'm doing Mariners and A's on a Wednesday and Thursday. I'll be doing foul territory down there, I believe at Texas at Rangers camp. So, and I'll be doing other little things. I'm going to be making a little bit of content with some people. So I'm excited about that. So if you see me around, great. I'm just exhausted already, and now I got to go fly. It's going to stink, but it is what it is. So any advice for youth players and coaches? Keep fighting the good fight. I don't know. Give your kids the space to grow and make sure they're having fun. That's one thing I'm going to struggle with when I'm a coach soon. My son's not even 6 months old yet, but I will be his coach someday. So, yeah. And also don't forget, guys, banana bread. That's our code word. If you know me, You've been here on the show. Hit me with the banana bread. All right. Do not full effort dry rep your delivery or you'll blow up. That's not true. That's not true. All right, everybody. I know I'm about 10 minutes early, but these lights are driving me crazy. I'm not feeling well. I'm going to be honest. I'm having a little bit of a tough day. So I want you guys to know that I appreciate you being here. Appreciate you hanging out. We will be back next Monday with the show once again. Hopefully I will get, a couple hours to rub together and fix these things. But until then, be good, drink your water, stay hydrated, watch your baseball, and opening day is just right around the corner. We're having a good time here on Mayday, and I will see you next week for a brand new edition. Trevor May Baseball, Foul Territory, and twitch.com/Time Trevor May. All right, bye, guys. I hope you guys have a wonderful one. Bye-bye. Hey.
You hear me, Trev?
I got you.
Way to tough it out.
Dude, that last hour before, I was just like, dude, nothing's working. And then everything broke. And then, of course...
No, I'm sorry. I checked that this morning and it worked.
Yeah, it's okay. Like, I logged in too, and then all my buttons slowly broke over the screen. I need to take a week and just, fix everything. I just need to do that. I have too much going on. I can't.
It was good though.
Slow down.
You were fine. From the viewer's perspective, you made it work.
Okay.
Yeah. So the stuff I put for the cuts, for long form, I think you should obviously do the mace-plaining.
Yep.
The Roki Sasaki breakdown, and then I think you can do the Paul George one as a longer form.
Okay.
And pretty much just cut out a few things. I think that would be really good to hear all of that. So I think that works as a long form. And then for short form, I have the Mariners stuff from the beginning.
Uh-huh.
I have Garrett Cole, Lawrence Butler, and then Tyler Naquin.
I like that. Oh God, there was one question that was really good, and then I'm blanking on now.
The commissioner question, or the rules question was good.
Yeah, no, it was straight from chat.
Yeah.
God damn it, I don't remember. Those four are good.
Yeah. Nastiest Pitches, unfortunately, I think will be tough to salvage.
Oh, that was a shit show. It's dead. Dude, I have no idea what happened with half of those. But I just didn't have time to
crazy.
I had no time to QA anything this week, which was I just kind of ran with it, and that was frustrating.
I was up to the wire too because I couldn't get as much work done earlier as I hoped because I was running Power Rally today, and Farron gave me 30 pieces of audio he wanted to cut.
Cool. That does take precedent.
No, it doesn't take precedent, but it was didn't think I was having to do that. So,
I've been thinking a lot about even the Nastiest Pitches too, because I went and found them all. We'll talk about this on Friday, but I'll task us. We'll have just folders for every different section, and we'll all contribute to all of them. Then I'll have a pool to pull from to put it together.
Always.
That's all I need.
Yeah.
Right? It's the finding things that is slows me down.
No, you can. That's what I'm good at. So you can always lean on me for
cool.
Just pulling stuff, finding topics, asking questions, stuff like that. I have that is I think my